our day, whatever it is, of
11?
day 11 of our lives every day up to Christmas Day.
Yep.
Can't believe we're doing it, but it's late. We're getting later here. All right, Renata, this is your jizz, as you'd like to say. So I'm going to spin around and put it onto you because you are Newcastle Ghost Tours and you run ghost tours here in Newcastle, a walking tour, which people can book on, can't they? How do they do that?
They can. You can just jump on to the webpage, find out all the information about the walking tour, the ghost walk. But you can just email me, and it's for groups. So 3 or more people, and it's just $40 per person for a 2-hour walking tour. And we take in the oldest area of Newcastle where the convicts first established themselves. Yeah.
Now, can you hear us okay? This is the most important thing. Hi, Joanne. We are using little portable microphones, which we weren't sure were charged. So we'll keep going as long as they hold up. Thanks, Virginia. All right. So where are we?
All right. So we are right up the top end of town. On my left-hand side, you will see the Customs House building. If I stand this way, on my left now is the harbour.
All right, I'll just keep walking around in circles.
Newcastle Harbour. Yeah.
Yep.
If I turn left now, we're going all the way up to the entrance of the harbour and past Fort Scratchley. And again, if I move this way,
I'm hating you right now.
You have the Newcastle Township, or pardon me. And so we're right in the area, more or less, where the first convicts would have landed when they came here to establish the settlement. Now, the settlement was established because they needed somewhere to put convicts that were still committing crimes in Sydney. Sydney was overflowing with convicts. They wanted to place them somewhere that would make it really difficult for those particular convicts that were here to come back to Sydney because there was no overland route, but also to keep them occupied. The reason Newcastle was so good was that it was only 2 hours from Sydney by the ocean, so by vessel, and they found coal here. And they found coal under Fort Scratchley, up that side there, and in where Nobby's is now.
My old house.
Yep. So they were all coal seams that you could see. And our Indigenous people here were the first to, that the white people saw actually using coal for cooking. So they actually used coal here for cooking. And this area here was a really vibrant area for the Indigenous people because there was lots of food here, and they would come here during the summertime. Of course, when the white people arrived, they wanted them out of here straight away, unfortunately. And so they started moving them down into the Newcastle West area. Now, again, this was really, really important here because look down below. Look where you are now. This was the water's edge when convicts arrived, this area here. So if you look at this and then pan back, you will see
more head spins for Anne.
How much land has been reclaimed over the years. All of that land has been reclaimed, and there was a necessity for that because when they first started to dig for coal up in the hills, up beyond this area here, they made huge coal staiths which drove the coal down to the harbour area, and they would have also had coal trains here coming through and past this building here, the old Customs House. So this walkway here that you see here and going across was the old railway line. So that's just a little bit of history around the area. Now, can we go?
You have to take my bag.
I'm going to take this, and can we just go over to this sign because
Sure.
I want to show you what this place looked like back when the first convicts arrived.
Don't trip over anything.
No, I
Whatever
won't.
you do.
I won't.
Let us know if our sound drops out. We're just hoping these microphones hold up. Of course, they won't be as good as our professional road ones, but they're certainly better than using the standard ones.
So this gives you a really, really, really good idea of what early Newcastle looked like. And this is 1812 here. So it is a picture of what the area looked like. We are standing about here at this point here. This is the early settlement here. This is Fort Scratchley, and this is Nobby's. And what don't you see? You don't see the break wall because it wasn't there yet. So they built the break wall. They started from this side and then this side and joined it up in the middle. And that's so that they could safely enter the harbour. Around this area here is where all the ships got shipwrecked. Over 100 vessels got shipwrecked trying to get in. So it was desperate to try and get the harbour safe. And so they built a break wall there. And then if you go to Stockton, there's another break wall coming out that way. So that's early Newcastle. And when I do the ghost tour here, I take people through this particular area here.
Okay. And also, if you notice, Nobby's Island is like quite pointed. They actually lopped the top off it.
Yeah.
And I lived on there for many years, many years during my school years.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, yeah.
Now we're going to take you to an area that I take people on the ghost tour, and it's the Convict lumber yard.
So to say the lighting is really good with this little light. I'm using a little tiny itty bitty light, which no, it's okay. Which I use on my GoPro, and that's at its lowest strength. I'm going to pop it up a little bit brighter. There you go.
So I'm not going to tell you all of the secrets because you'll have to come on a tour. I do talk about this place too because it is very, very haunted, but it sits at the front of the old Convict lumberyard, which is right behind it.
A nice meal there too. I mean, I haven't eaten there in a long time, but last time I was there, it was delish. Delish.
So as you can see, Convict lumberyard here. Now, why would Convict lumberyard be really, really important here in Newcastle? Really super duper important because they took three things from Newcastle that were really, really important for the settlement in in Sydney, and could make them money. Government needed money, and so anything that could make money for the government was good. So they would be bringing convicts down here to work really, really hard. One thing that they took was coal. Yep, we all know about that. Another thing that they did was they actually mined for salt. So they took salt water, cooked it up in big salt pans, and then took the salt to Sydney for the food that they were needing to salt and eat. But the one thing that really, really made them lots and lots of money was the red cedar trees. And red cedar trees were found from here all the way through to Maitland into the Hunter Valley. And they took all of them, virtually all of them.
Greedy.
So,
nice t-shirt you're wearing tonight too, Renata.
Thank you.
That is our Sedlec ossuary when we were in Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic.
So we just want to read this bit here because this is important here. Between 1805 and 1820, coal, timber, salt and burnt shells for lime. That's another story that is just freaking awesome. Worth over 3,000 pounds sterling were produced by convict labour based at Newcastle. Over half of this revenue came from the 1,000 red cedar trees. 1,000 red cedar trees felled by convict gangs. This exhausted the more accessible stands in the Hunter. So the convicts would come from here. They would get onto whatever they could to go down the river to where the stands were. Now they were wearing leg irons at that stage so that they couldn't escape. Went down, cut the trees down with small axes, right? Huge trees, huge. And then they would float them back up here, bring them here, get them ready to go on board the vessels that were coming in from Sydney. That's how we lost all of our red cedar trees. Go into any huge buildings overseas that are built around the mid-1800s, and that's our red cedar in all the staircases and everything. A lot of the big buildings in Sydney also have our Hunter Valley red cedar. But let's go in.
Keep moving because the mozzies are eating me.
Yeah, let's go in, let's go in.
So as I said, look up Newcastle Ghost Tours if you'd like to come and do a walking tour. What's the minimum amount of people you can have for a tour?
About 3.
Yeah, so you can, 3 or 4 of you can come do it. Or of course, if you said more, she'll take more.
I will take more.
You're doing one on Wednesday night, I believe.
I am.
And thank you to Catherine or Zena and Mel who are helping us with a special project Thursday night. We'll reveal more on that later. Not even they know what it is, but thank you very much for helping out.
So I do bring people here because we are now in that convict lumberyard area. So it stretched kind of in a diagonal across this space, and it went all the way from down behind those trees, which is now Customs House car park, and across behind you and into that area over there. So all of this was the lumberyard area, and for probably about 10 or more years, this was the workspace for the convicts, where they would bring in wrought iron to make tools. They had furnaces going all the time. They would prepare the lumber, the timber that they had. The coal would be stored here, and the salt, all ready to go on board. Now, these things here are the footprints of buildings that were here on this site. So this was a military barracks building. Now, we are up a lot higher than we would have been. The original military barracks building would have been on the same level as the car park down at Customs House, which is a lot lower, many, many metres lower. But this is where that convict building was. Across on the other side, very, very hard to see through those trees, but there is also another metal outline where a barracks building was. It was originally a place to store coal and timber and everything, but later on it became an area where the convicts would sleep, for those last convicts that were here, that were still here building the break wall right towards the end. And by that stage, there were already free settlers all around here. So imagine this whole place was then a stockade. There was a whole big wall around here, timber wall, and they were locked in every night, while across the road there were pubs that were carrying on. Sailors would be coming in and out, spending money. There would be people drinking, gallivanting all night long. These poor guys were still locked in here, going out every day to finish off the break wall. What a shitty, shitty thing to do to these people.
Can I just say the mosquitoes have not been fed for a while, and we're providing them with an almighty feed.
Awesome.
I'm trying to stand very still, but they are eating me.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So,
I mean, it's fascinating. Everyone's saying how awesome this is.
one of the things that's really important here is that we have had connections with a gentleman here who was the town flogger or the town scourger.
He liked to flog publicly, apparently.
He is known to haunt this place. People have visually seen him. They have felt his touch.
Right.
They have also experienced his smell here. He has appeared on a couple of photos. I've been doing this tour for over 10 years. There have been sort of weird photos that have been gotten here. People have had their bags torn off their shoulder. I actually physically saw a manifestation of him one night directly under that light post there. Now, we've got a bit of a wind tonight, so there's a little bit of a wind that's blown up, but the night I was here, it was dead quiet, absolutely nothing, not a thing. It was very, very quiet, no wind, nothing. And I'm standing here, I've put everyone across there to take some photos, because you never know what they can get from photos here. And then I've turned around to here, and at that moment, there's been like a wind, like a willy coming through. It's gone twirl, twirl, twirl directly under that light post. It's gathered up all the sand within it, done a swirl. For a half a second, you see the form of a body, and then it just went, psh, and that was it.
Wow.
And I've just gone, what the? And of course, I've gone, did anyone see that?
No.
Not.
No.
Because they're taking photos over there. I remember it as distinctly as the day it happened. It was mind-blowing, mind-blowing.
Just a little shout out to all those people in Cairns. We are thinking of you. Spinksbats just got up and said that the cyclone is hitting Cairns right now.
Oh my gosh.
So we are thinking of you guys. Stay
So
safe.
sorry.
Whatever you do, stuff isn't worth your life.
Yeah.
Just stay safe.
So yeah, this is kind of the area. When I bring people in, sometimes I will take them into that space where
Shall we
the
just walk over there
lodgings
quickly
were. Yeah.
so they can see it? I'll wander forth. I'll be brave and go by myself. Oh my God, the mosquitoes. Oh. Yeah, that little light that I've got is actually from GoPro. No, it's not Temu.
Now, I actually take people through here, and what I tend to do, because this was their sleeping area, I have a story of very, very late in sort of the history of this space. And they talk about these two levels where the convicts slept. And there was one particular gentleman here who actually lost his life here when another convict stabbed him to death, because the other convict, let's say, was trying to take advantage of him at night.
Yes.
And he was a good Christian man and said he wouldn't have a bar of it. He went up to
What was the bar they were trying to give
guard.
him?
He went up to the military guard that one particular night and said, I can't be sleeping next to him because he's trying to rape me, literally. And the guard said, I don't fucking care. Do you think I'm going to worry about it? Go back and lie down and you better shut up or you'll be dead by morning. So he went and lay down, nothing else that he could do. Guess what? He was dead by morning. And so they all walked out, and this guy was still lying there with his throat slashed.
Wow.
And that is all in this
At
little
least his
space
mortal
here.
soul was safe, Renata.
Now, people, when they go in there, will feel touching, and they'll also get the sense, all of them, they will all get the sense that they are rocking back and forth as if they are still on board a ship, which is really, really interesting, really interesting. So, yeah. That fence line that you can see there at the entrance is about the size of the stockade wall that was all the way around here. So this here.
I don't think we're going to be able to stay out here much longer. This is like, I am allergic to mosquito bites, and
well, that's it.
Let's just go up to the thing here. And actually we can look from the other side. There's the customs house over there.
So see how low the cars are over there?
There is the stockade wall. And
see how low the cars are over there? That's how low this whole area was.
Right.
And over the years, this became known as the sand hills because all the sand would come over with the wind here. And this whole area here used to be covered with sand the whole time. There was a real issue with people trying to get to their houses and trying to get to their businesses because it was always just covered with sand.
And I have a story about the sand here as well, if you want to just hold that for a second, and I will turn it around. I used to live on Nobby's Island, which is sort of out that way, and I used to have to go to school and I used the breakwater, and there would be times that there was that much sand that it had blown across the breakwater and cut us off, so I couldn't actually get to school.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. Any excuse not to go to school.
All right, so we might finish off there for tonight.
And look, just there as well is the Great Northern Hotel.
Great Northern Hotel.
And we used to do investigations there.
Yep, and it used to be the space where the first public licensed house where you could actually buy alcohol was established. So you can actually see how close to the water's edge it was. All of the ships would land over there, and literally the ship's captains would walk across.
Oh, thank you, Amelia. That's so kind of you.
To here to have their first drinks. It later became a Chinese den of iniquity.
Yes.
Where they would have their gambling and everything down
the opium
below,
den.
and their opium dens down here. And through here were the convict flogging triangles as well, when the convicts were here.
Nothing like a good flogging.
So this whole area, everywhere you go here, is just filled with history. Absolutely crazy and mind-boggling.
Hi, Cameron. How are you? Amelia, you are so kind. Thank you so much for that super sticker.
Oh, thank you.
That really helps us out. And thank you for showing your appreciation of what we're trying to do here. Hope you liked Renata's ghost stories and her history here in Newcastle. We're going to wrap it up now and run back to the car and try and swat off some of these mosquitoes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, hang on. I've got to work out how to stop the bloody thing again. No, where is it? There, up there. Oh, see, we're very clever.